BTS's fandom etiquette has been mostly self-regulated since the group started in 2013. Of course, there were some rules that BTS's label enforced on its once small fandom, but as BTS became more and more popular around the world, actions that were once okay started to become problematic, and the need for official fandom rules began. For example, sending gifts to the BTS members was once welcome, but when BTS started gaining worldwide popularity, the number of gifts became a problem. There were just too many. So BTS's team announced that since March 30th of 2018, they will return all gifts sent. Despite this rule, fans kept sending gifts. A lot of them. So BTS's team released another notice. It's not just that BTS will not open the gifts, but also the PO Box company will not send them back to the fans, so they will simply throw them away. There have been instances when BTS released a notice and the fandom took them as suggestions. So in 2020, BTS's team, known as BTS Fan Club Manager, released a list of fandom etiquette rules, and in 2024, they released another notice with more rules for the online fandom space. These rules are not just suggestions. If you don't follow them, there is a range of possible consequences. I became a fan of BTS before they released these fandom etiquette rules, so I did read them once they were out, but I moved on. And being completely honest, the second notice was so long that I just skimmed through it. Only recently I read the full notices without skipping a single word. But because this is a long list, I decided to bring some visuals and context to it, so it's more accessible for all armies. Let's start with the first notice released in January of 2020. If there are any updates, I will leave them in the comment section. This is the official BTS fan club etiquette rules, released in Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and English. They don't always do this, so this notice is very important. There are 6 rules made to create a sound fan culture and protect the rights of the BTS members. However, I will actually do the opposite of BTS's official fan club notice, and I will start with the 7th and final section, titled For Violations of Fan Club Rules. I wanted to start with this because as I was reading the do's and don't do's, my mind kept asking, or what? For example, let's say I want to break a rule and give BTS a gift. The worst thing that can happen is BTS's team throwing my gift in the trash, but I can still give it a try. Nothing can actually happen to me. Well, technically, it can. Here's the first thing that can happen. If any violations of the fan club etiquette rules are discovered, you may be restricted or prohibited from receiving the benefits of the BTS Global Official Fan Club, aka ARMY membership, without prior warning. This means that you won't be able to attend domestic TV music shows, you won't be able to participate in any online or in-person BTS special events, and among other things, you won't be able to get pre-sale tickets or participate in raffles for BTS concerts. And good luck getting any BTS concert tickets without early reservation because they sell out their venues during pre-sale. Your ARMY membership is linked to a valid identification, such as national ID or passport. So it's not like you can ask a friend to buy the membership and the tickets for you. This is the mild consequence for not following the rules. Second, the entrance to an official BTS activity may be restricted or prohibited without prior notice. Even if you try attending any performances, music shows, or fine signing events that don't require a membership, you may still be banned from these activities. Since these are private spaces and mostly closed events, their team can restrict or prohibit entry to anyone they want to. Finally, we have the third consequence. If any actions that do not comply with the etiquette rules are found to be unlawful, evidence may be collected, and violators may be subject to civil and criminal penalties. Breaking some rules may not seem like a big deal. It's not illegal to give the BTS members a gift. Maybe BTS's team won't even notice or care, and you won't suffer any consequences. But it's about context. Forcing gifts repeatedly may end up in you not attending any BTS performances in the future because you don't have an ARMY membership or because you are banned. And if you go as far as to stalk the BTS members to give them a gift, then you can get sued. But even if you don't get investigated, banned, or sued, please follow the rules for the safety of the BTS members, the fandom, and everyone else. With that said, let's go back to rule number 1. Do not visit sets or locations close to the public or private spaces. This can be confusing because a TV set or a stadium where BTS is going to perform are private spaces. However, you can actually visit those, as long as they are listed on Big Hit's schedule page or via weverse announcement. You can find BTS's schedule on ibighit.com. Just go to menu, BTS, schedule. If an activity is listed there, you can go to the location and wait for BTS as much as you want. If an activity is not on this schedule, it's most likely on weverse. Weverse is the platform in which the BTS members communicate with fans and where BTS's team releases official notices and sells merch. The official activities BTS will participate in can be found in the notices section of your weverse app. You can see BTS's schedule as a list of announcements or in a calendar. If you don't have the app, you can find all the BTS community notices and therefore the places you have permission to visit on weverse.io/BTS/notice. What you will never see in any kind of calendar or announcement are the places where BTS works privately. So do not visit company spaces, practice rooms, living spaces, or nearby areas, and any other locations that BTS has visited or are related to them. Just so you know, even if you unsuccessfully attempt to enter these spaces, you will receive civil and criminal penalties.
저희 집 주차장에 이제 잘못 발 들이면은 못 나가요. 제가 열어주지 않는 한 못 나가요. 그러니까 갇혀요. 경찰서로 가시고 싶지 않으시면 들어오지 마세요. 요즘도 집 앞에 사생이 있더라. 찾자가 이 새끼들아.
Traveling a lot is also an important part of BTS's work and private life. So do not visit airports or board the same flight as them during any part of their domestic or international activities, including tours and personal traveling, especially if you do this by using information acquired improperly. I will talk more about this rule later, but remember, if it's not on the official schedule, you could have only obtained this information improperly. Lastly, you are not allowed to send or leave gifts or letters at the artist's private locations. Do not send anything to BTS's living spaces, family homes, or any place of work. Number 2. Do not stalk the artist. If it's not on the official calendars or if BTS didn't personally mention it, there's really no reason for you to know their locations or what they are doing. So do not carry out or attempt to contact, visit, follow, talk to, or make physical contact with the BTS members. Also, do not attempt these actions towards the family members, friends, and acquaintances of the BTS members. Finally, even if an activity is part of a public schedule, you are stalking the artist if you attempt to access their waiting room or try to approach them by illegally copying, producing, or acquiring passes. So do not do this anywhere, including concert venues or other similar access control locations. Reminder that BTS's label does sue stalkers. They have a policy of no settlement and no leniency, and they do file objections and request re-investigations until the suspects are found guilty. Number 3. Do not sell or purchase the artist's personal information. Do not transact or attempt to transact the artist's personal information, such as resident registration number, phone number, address, ID, etc. Of course, people who break this rule will be subject to civil and criminal penalties, but the activity that is way too normalized and that faces these same consequences is the transaction of flight information. So do not transact or attempt to transact flight information such as flight number or seat number. Like I mentioned, BTS's label does take legal action against violators of this rule, and they have a policy of no settlement and no leniency. This is a bigger problem than you can imagine. Airports around the world, including LAX, where celebrities take flights all the time, have private entrances for celebrities. This way, mobs of fans and paparazzi are less common. But Incheon International Airport in South Korea does not have a private entrance, and everyone is aware of this. So the paparazzi and fans basically live in that airport waiting to see celebrities take their flights. This means that celebrities will get mobbed. The celebrities' security will sometimes be aggressive, and fans and regular passengers are in danger. The airport once tried to create a dedicated entrance for celebrities like in LAX to reduce potential congestion in densely crowded situations, but the public and lawmakers were angry about preferential treatment. Now let me add a little of my speculations and personal opinion. Celebrities are normal people, but they are not treated as such. At Incheon International Airport, they are a spectacle. The artists are not performing there, but the public gives them a special unique treatment by waiting for them, taking pictures, and trying to touch them. It's always being allowed, so they are used to this. And many make a living out of this. Not just the paparazzi, but regular people invest in professional cameras and sell their pictures and videos of celebrities. And airline employees sell the celebrities' flight information to these photographers. It's such a big ecosystem that a private entrance will obviously receive backlash. Because this is a big issue, rule number 1 about prohibited locations includes airports. Going to the airport to see BTS is technically not against the law, but it is against the fandom rules. Just think about it. If you know the day and time BTS is going to be at the airport, that most likely means that someone bought that information illegally from an airport employee, breaking the fandom rules and the law. So please avoid being part of this problem at all. As rule number 1 mentions, do not visit airports to see BTS. Number 4. Do not take photographs or record video or audio except where permitted. This means you cannot covertly or secretly photograph or record video or audio of BTS in closed sets or locations, or in their private spaces. If a place prohibits it, you cannot do any of these activities, including broadcasting or live streaming. Do not violate rules prohibiting the possession of any devices capable of recording video or audio into concert or other venues. These rules usually don't apply to cell phones, so you can use your phone to record public activities in most venues. Finally, do not engage in video or audio recording activities that violate copyrights. Areas where recording is not permitted include inside airports, at the ticket counter, security checkpoint, lounge, duty-free stores, boarding gate, security area, and baggage claim area. So basically, nowhere inside airports. Areas also include inside network broadcast studios, performances, and venues where recording video or audio is prohibited. If violations are discovered, you may be asked to delete any video or audio recordings and will be escorted out of the venue. And if your devices get damaged while you are being escorted out, Big Hit holds no responsibility. You accept these conditions by attending the BTS event, so just follow the rules. Finally, if violations are discovered during open music show recordings, the network may not only sanction the person breaking the rules, they may sanction the entire ARMY fan body, basically ruining BTS's performance. So it is mandatory that everyone follows these rules. Number 5. Do not interfere with artist-related activities. Do not interfere with the duties of the management staff, security personnel, or anyone carrying out artist-related activities, and don't refuse to comply with the request for cooperation. Do not block the BTS members from entering their vehicles, do not prevent the vehicles from moving normally, and don't ever engage in a vehicle chase with the artist's vehicles. Finally, the 6th and last rule encompasses any other inappropriate actions unbefitting of a fan. Do not assume a false identity to engage in fan activities. For example, to participate in certain fan activities, your ARMY membership has to be linked to an official ID. So don't transfer ID cards, use an unlawfully acquired ID, use another person's ID, and don't forge such documents. To participate in certain music show broadcasts and BTS events, you may need to apply first. And some curious fans apply to attend these events while knowing they cannot actually go. So don't limit the opportunities of other fans by applying and then failing to show up for a fan club seat, or failing to bring the necessary identity verification materials to such event. Remember to always be respectful. Do not engage in actions that physically or mentally threaten the artist. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, do not force a gift on the artist. It is prohibited. The only thing you can send BTS is a letter to one authorized PO box, and that follows a very specific guideline. However, even if you follow all the guidelines, sending a physical letter does not guarantee that BTS will read it. Instead, it's recommended to send them online letters through weverse. The BTS members are active on weverse, and they even respond. You can personalize your own letter in the fan letter tab of the BTS fan community, or you can turn your regular weverse post into a letter by using the following hashtags. Lastly, do not engage in other improper and inappropriate actions unbefitting of a fan, or any actions which may be seen in a negative light by the fandom. So those were the fandom etiquette rules. Do not visit sets or private spaces, do not stalk the artist, do not sell or purchase the artist's personal information, do not take photos, record video or audio except where permitted, do not interfere with artist-related activities, and do not engage in other inappropriate actions which may be seen in a negative light by the fandom. Remember that violations of these rules may result in restriction, prohibition, or civil and criminal penalties. Now let's talk about the second notice released in October of 2024 and updated in March of 2025 regarding the guidelines for weverse, the online fandom space BTS and ARMY are part of. If there are any updates, I will leave them in the comment section. The first thing you need to know about weverse is that this is a platform for fandoms of different artists, not just BTS, but each fan community is some kind of closed space. To enter BTS's community, you need to create your own ARMY profile separate to any other weverse communities, and by joining BTS's community, you accept to follow all of the rules I will mention. The severity of the consequences depend if you're found to be intentionally and repeatedly violating the guidelines or not. So first, your content will be hidden. This means that some or all your content will be hidden from the weverse feed for a set period of time. Second, you will not be allowed to upload content. This means you will not be able to upload content for a set period of time. And in some cases, you will permanently be banned from uploading content. Third, your profile will be restricted. This means you will not be able to access other users' profiles, and you will be deleted from followers lists. You may be allowed to upload content, but the details of your profile will be deleted. So no profile photo, no header image, no bio, no followers, and no access to other profiles. Lastly, you will not be allowed to participate in communities. You will be banned from using some or all communities, either for a set period of time or permanently. In other words, you will be kicked out of BTS's and all artist communities permanently. With that said, here are the weverse community guidelines. Weverse is a space for both artists and their fans. So activities that undermine the identity of BTS's community are banned. This means you cannot insult or promote other artists and fandoms, and you cannot have private conversations that are not related to BTS's community. Just focus on BTS and be a respectful fan. Don't impersonate any artist, label employees, service moderators, or specific users. Don't upload multiple identical posts and content, aka don't spam. And don't say or do things that may offend others. Discriminating, forcing, or promoting prejudice based on politics, religion, gender, disability, age, race, region, occupation, etc. is banned. Stating or distributing false information is also banned. This includes manipulating and sharing misinformation in the form of images, audio, and videos. Other banned activities include treating weverse as your personal social media. Remember, this is BTS's official fan community. You cannot share or promote personal contact information, email, or messenger IDs, and you cannot upload photos with a person's face or daily lives that are irrelevant to the community. For security purposes, you are also prohibited from inducing others to move to unverified external links, and you are prohibited from inducing others to move to external links that provide personal information with event-related content. Weverse is a space where the rights of fans must be protected, so posts that leak or request personal information are banned. This includes posting your own personal information. Remember, this is not about you, this is about the fandom. So you are also prohibited from using others' posts without permission and failing to credit the original poster. The rights of artists must also be protected. So posts that illegally share images and other paid content are banned. This includes BTS's own exclusive weverse content. So even if you paid for this content, do not share it on BTS's weverse community. You are prohibited from posting images that include the likeness of members themselves or any other non-celebrity, including general photos and/or modified images such as composite images with artists. Finally, weverse protects the rights of everyone, not just ARMYs and BTS. So remember that in your posts, you cannot infringe any intellectual property rights, trademark rights, defame, invade the privacy of others, and you cannot infringe the intellectual property rights of any third party. The next section of the notice has to do with the language and type of content allowed in the platform. Defaming and insulting artists and fandoms is banned. This includes hate speech relating to gender, appearance, religion, disability, age, intelligence, race, region, occupation, or illness, or that promote biases against these groups. Using vulgar slang or banned words is banned. Editing content with the intent to spread hate or slander is banned, and bullying specific users in a community is also banned. This includes reporting a specific user or their content repeatedly with no good reason. Weverse strives to create a safe and comfortable community, so don't post things considered harmful to young children and teenagers. Any kind of sexual content is banned, including photos, videos, deepfakes, and texts. And any kind of violent content is banned, including criminal acts and illegal products. Those are all the rules regarding BTS's Weverse community feed. But you also need to know that BTS usually goes live on Weverse Live. This way, BTS and ARMY can communicate directly and instantaneously with each other. The BTS members will often read chat messages during lives, so fans need to be extra careful with their words. Mind your manners when communicating with the artist. Refrain from spamming the chat, giving orders to the artist, and making excessive requests. A big problem in the community are the repetitive "speak English" comments. Remember that BTS's first language is Korean, and they will talk in the language they feel most comfortable with. Weverse will eventually add subtitles in other languages after some time, but if you really cannot wait, you have two options. You can get the BTS ARMY membership and get auto-generated live translations that of course won't be 100% accurate but can still be helpful, or you can learn Korean. If you feel like this is an extreme request, notice that that's what you demanded from BTS, to speak a language they are not fluent or comfortable in. Additionally, remember to stay on topic and don't try to force topics that are unrelated to the artist during the live. Don't ask them time and time again to say hi to your country. Ask where another BTS member is. Talk about other artists. Sing a certain song or any other topics BTS is not talking about. Finally, don't over-criticize other fans' comments. Another type of communication Weverse offers are listening parties. Weverse listening parties allow BTS and ARMY to listen to music together and communicate in real time. It's kind of like a radio. The host plays music and the audience simultaneously listens to the host's choice of songs by connecting their Spotify or Apple Music accounts. The audience also has a chat to talk about the music played by the host. There are artist official parties and there are fan-hosted parties which are hosted by ARMYs. So while joining a BTS hosted party, an ARMY party, or hosting your own listening party, keep the focus on the artist's music or related songs. Communicate about the artist or their music, and refrain from posting hateful, offensive, or repetitive content that could disturb others. As a reference, I recommend following the chat rules from the Weverse Live guideline. So when BTS is hosting a party, don't ask them to speak English, say hi to your country, or demand them anything. If you break these policies and guidelines, your party will be immediately terminated, and you may be restricted from hosting a future party without prior notice. The next section of this notice gives yet another reminder that your Weverse profile is not your personal profile. Having a profile in BTS's community means that you have an ARMY profile. So you must focus on BTS. Don't ask others to follow you or your personal channels. Don't use inappropriate profile photos. This includes images of artists that are not BTS, edited images of BTS and yourself which may lead to misconception, images that impersonate artists or moderators, and edited photos of artists that spread hate or slander. This includes using stickers in offensive manners, blurring, and hate messages. Lastly, don't use inappropriate profile nicknames and bios. Don't use text about artists that are not BTS. Don't use text with excessive personal information or intended to sell something. Don't use text created with the intention to impersonate artists or moderators. And don't use text that defames an artist's honor or slanders the artist through baseless speculation. Finally, Weverse offers a unique feature that allows armies to communicate with each other and organize fandom projects without BTS knowing. This is the Hide from Artists feature, encouraged to be used for posts that encourage voting and streaming, posts created to participate in events, and posts about surprise events for BTS or something meant to be shared only between fans. But be careful. If you repeatedly use this feature for posts I did not mention, it will be considered a violation of this guideline. A reminder that Weverse encourages fans to use the report feature to make Weverse a better place. When a user's content or profile violates the guideline, or when posts deter Weverse from providing a positive and safe environment, do not hesitate to use the report feature on the upper right corner or the report profile feature. Reported content and reported profiles will be automatically registered as reported through Weverse algorithms. Users who repeatedly violate these guidelines will be restricted. So those are all the BTS community rules. If I had to summarize everything, I would put it like this. BTS's community on Weverse is a safe space only for BTS and ARMY of all ages. So don't use any type of offensive words or images anywhere, and only talk about BTS related topics. With BTS reuniting and officially coming back as a group, I thought it was very important to share the official fandom etiquette rules because ARMY is not what it used to be. And in my opinion, this is natural. In the past 3 years, the dynamic between BTS and ARMY was forced to change. BTS was not able to be a 7-member group. They took turns to release solo projects while their bandmates were in the military. And even for a period of time, they all had to be in the military at the same time, leaving ARMY completely alone. So millions of new listeners met the BTS members as solo artists and don't know our fandom practices, especially since a lot of major fan bases took a break alongside BTS. So it's unrealistic to believe that everything was going to stay the same. Like I mentioned, the first fandom etiquette notice was released in 2020, but a lot of armies like myself didn't pay tons of attention to it because these rules were common sense to the majority of us back then. But now it's different. New fans don't see anything wrong about going to the airport to see BTS or trying to send them a gift, because how could they? These things are normal with most fandoms out there, and the general public turning into BTS fans don't know about the Incheon airport situation and they didn't go through the prohibition of gifts notice. So instead of complaining, I hope this message reaches all baby armies. I don't want all these new fans to get banned from BTS activities on accident because they don't know the rules. So let's welcome everyone and let's normalize these practices.
For the rest of my life.